So
I
guys,
can see.
okay, everyone,
Yeah.
Prachi, you also see my screen?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. So guys, today we have start the new project, okay, in our training, which is HR project. Okay, guys, so in this project, like you can see in this PDF, this is PDF file, okay. In the first page, you can see there is a details of some employees related to that they have male or female employees, okay. So how many employees is due for promotion? How many is not due for promotion? Service year, how many employees as per year wise, like number 1 year, 2 year, how many experience wise? Okay. And
Hmm.
the next slide is like next retrenchment or active worker, like the person who is leaving, like company lay off some employees due to some reason. Okay. So for that, they have a retrenchment and active worker also. So we have to calculate all these visualizations in our Power BI project with the data source. I will show you in just a minute. Okay. And we have to make this kind of slides presentation, because see, you everybody know Power BI. Power BI is just a like tool in which you have to prepare your dashboard. But dashboard design is a main part in Power BI. Like you have to make a calculation, you can make a calculation, you can make the transformation, but the design is also a main part in Power BI. Okay, because design looks that your report going to give you 100% picture of your data. So this design and this design is also important. And if you know, because we have, this is total of, we have 2 or 3 days maximum classes, 3 to 4 days, maximum of maybe four, but minimum we have to cover in these three classes, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So in these 3 days we can complete this HR project. And I also shared the recording with you for every class and data set, so that you can prepare one page in one class. Like second page we can prepare in second class, like you can see little bit of advanced part. Okay. And then total employees, the same thing, but the employee by a job satisfaction, by overtime, by high rating, low rating, job role, total employee due for promotion, like out of these employees how many is due for promotion, how many we have to retrenchment, like this we can prepare the report. Same way for third page. So one day we have to prepare one, second day we have to prepare second, or third day we have to prepare third, so that every the complete project is completed by us. And after that, suppose if any question you have, we can make one session on next day, so that you can prepare your questions and we can complete this project. Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, sorry, got it right? Okay, so
Yeah.
now
Yeah.
okay, now I'm going to show you that what is my data. Like we have a data in the form of CSV right now. Okay, so the data is this one. So guys, you already know that in Power BI we have to like connect the source from multiple files like Excel, CSV, maybe from SQL Server, from shared drive, from file folder, from Azure, from any online server. So there's a many sources you have connected with Power BI. But right now I have taken one example only, which is from CSV file. So in CSV file, guys, you can see there is a just one column data, because this data is extracted from some server. Okay. And it is extracted like this way, you can see only column A is fill out by complete data, only column A. Okay. So in Excel, if I need to like sort this data, that you can see there is a age, attrition, business travel, daily rate, department, distance from home, education field, education count, employee number. There is a lot of thing, but only in a column, only in column one. So in Power BI, we have to first think that how we can transform these to different kinds of column, or different kind of column, which is give us a correct picture of data. Okay. And guys, please mute by yourself, so that there is no disturbance. Okay. Yeah. So in the A column, we have complete data, but we have to transform. You can see we cannot prepare any kind of report when the data is in just A column. We have to separate. We have to make a like data ready for the project. If data is not ready, then you can not go for further steps. So every time when you prepare any Power BI project or maybe Power BI working or maybe in Excel working or some other working, you have to make data ready. Okay, data is available but not in the correct format. So we have to change, we have to transform the data in the different kinds of column. Okay, so let me just close, and every time when you export or import this data in Power BI, first you have to close the file. I've just closed this file and now open this Power BI window. This is my Power BI window. So guys, I have one question for you all. How many windows in Power BI? Tell me, how many windows available in Power BI?
Windows, as in you asking about?
Window as in I am asking, you can see this is first screen. Okay, so how
Mm-hmm.
suppose if I want to some transformation, so what is the screen name that transformation?
Power Query Editor.
The
Right.
Power
Query
Query
Editor and
Editor.
Power BI Desktop.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. So this is guys, we see first you have to knowledge about Power BI, that in Power BI we have to make any transformation in the Power Query. Same thing we have also in Excel also, Power Query also in Excel, but that is belongs to Power Pivot, and in Power BI we have to same thing we can do in Excel. Right now you can see there is an option here, get data, but right now I'm not using this. I am going into this transform first because see, we already know that our data is not correct format or correct column. So we always already know that we have to transform the data. So always open your transform screen, which is belongs to Power Query Editor. Now click this new source, Excel file. Right now I'm select my Excel file. So you can see there is a no CSV file showing me. So going into my download, there is a project under this, and now you can see if I select my Excel, it will not show me my file. So for that I am going here and select all file, and now you can see this is my file. Okay, and now I'm just open so that the file will connecting. And guys, interface, it is a machine, so it will take some time like 1 or 2 minutes or maybe 5 minutes also, so that connect the file as per the data requirement. And now you can see guys, this file data is just a column one. Okay, in column one. Now if I click this OK, if I click this OK, now it will give me the picture that we have a one column data in Power BI. Now you already you all have knowledge of Power BI. Now tell me how I can do the transformation with this. Any idea?
That
What
we
is
have
the
to
step?
separate the columns.
What is the
Lead,
we need to
lead column.
split column? Okay. So in the home tab you can see, in the home tab also we have option here split column, and in the transform also we have split column. You can see where it is, split column. You can see there is a split column in the transform also. So which, in which tab we have to perform, like transform or home page, or or we can use anyone.
Anyone.
Right, so we can use any whatever the in the front of you, but right now I'm using my home. Okay, click this split column. Okay, when I click this split column, so what is the option I have to choose? Because you can see there is a multiple options when you have data this kind of, so you have a multiple option. Now tell me which option I want to choose it.
Delimiter.
Okay,
First one,
why?
by delimiter.
But why delimiter?
Space is there
Sorry,
because there is space. Because there is space
there
between
is
two
a
columns.
space. Okay, okay,
Yes.
suppose this time I'm clicking by delimiter. Okay, so here you can see there is a tab. So do I need to change this? Do I need to change this?
Space.
Yes.
But why?
Tab also okay. Tab is
I
also
mean,
okay.
Tell me one by one. Tab is okay or any other? Tell me. And why? If tab, then why? Because see, I know guys, when you are preparing your Power BI project, you can do by colon, you can do by comma, you can do by equal sign. But this time we can use either space or either tab. Okay, don't worry. But we can choose here tab. Why is tab? Because if you are using a tab option, it means when you click the edge, when I click the age, the next is we have to shift it to next part, which is belongs to tab. So every time in the keyboard, when you have a tab option, tab means shifted to a next. Whether we have two space, three space, four space, we have to shift it to next. So that's why I'm writing here tab. Now I have one question, that we when we have to split this column, so how many columns we have? Any idea? How many columns? Or do I need to split by left, right, or each occurrence? What is the option I have to choose it? This is very like basic rule. Like see, we have a column 1 and I want to split for every column, whether we have 10, 12, or 13, 14, 15. I don't know how many column there, but I want to split by each occurrence. So I'm selecting here each, right? And now if I click this advanced option, and Power BI knows that how many column in the column A, how many column we have to separate. Now if I click this advanced, Power BI knows that you can see number of column to split into 35. We have not write this number. Power BI write this number because Power BI had that much knowledge to count the number, count the column. And now you can see split into column because I want to split in multiple columns. And if you change this column, like 35 is already by default. Why by default? Because Power BI intelligence automatically take the column from the Excel file. Okay, they have an intelligence power to know that how many columns we have to split, and this is 35. Suppose if you change it the value of 34 or maybe 30 or maybe 36, this will give you the wrong. Okay, so do not change this value. Remember one thing, either you can split by column or you can split by rows. Do not change this value. Okay, but right now I want to split by column. You can see now there is a number 5 of column 35. And now if I click this OK option, now you can see Power BI done this thing in Power BI. You can see this is Power Query Editor, that what is in Excel file in just one column, but in Power BI it is for different column. You can see now for all the 35 column. Now if I move at the end, you can see column number 35 is there. 35, not 36, because Power BI read all the syntax from the Excel and they can write a code for you in just click. This is clear? Tell
Yes,
me
sir.
guys, this is clear for everyone?
Yes.
Okay, now you can see guys, if I move it to split column, okay, any doubt guys, anyone?
No,
Okay,
no.
no doubt. Okay, now you can see guys, this is just for understanding that see every time I'm not there to teach you like how many columns or whatever the condition you have to use. So you have to perform all these functions in your Power BI project. First check that which function you have to use. Suppose if you are wrong right now, if I am going to back, suppose if I go to back and select another option instead of tab, if I select space option, and that time if I incorrect, so don't worry, move back and reuse again. But in Excel, if you change it the value like tab or something else, it will give you the wrong picture. But in Power BI you have an option to move the step back, one step, second step, third step, or fourth step. And now if you want to see that what is the code Power BI written for you, go to this advanced editor, go to this advanced editor. Now you can see Power BI write this code for you. This is just for your like source file. Then first is change type. Now second you can see splitter text by delimiter, which is tab, then CSV, and then column 1, 2, 3, it is divided up to 35 column. They can split all the columns in one file, and after that they can also change type of column. Change type means they can set the data type for you. Like if the numerical column, it will change to numerical. If the data is text, they can change it to text. If the data is decimal, they can change it to for decimal part. Now if I click this done, now you can see that this is my data type. And see, the number is number, but the first word is text. Then Power BI is okay with the text value. They always choose the first letter, first row's value, not the second rows. And now you can see if I move down to the first column, they give me idea of column 1, 2, 3, but this is not an actual column name. we have to make a column name like age. Age is a column name. So in Power BI, if you show this kind of thing, so what you can do, you have to another option in Power BI, which is use first row as header. Okay, so do one. You can see there is a two option. One is use first row as header or use header as first row. There is a two option. Right now, what I want to use first row as header, not header as first row. Suppose in some places you have to give the header value in the rows and you have to make a manual header for your data. So then you can always use header at first row. But right now in this condition, we have to use first row as header. Now if I click this use first row as header, okay, now you can see if I click this first row as header, they give me the value. And now you can see again data type is changed. Change data type 1, change type 2. And now you can see it will give you the picture as per the first row data. Earlier, if I move to this, you can see data type is text. But if I move to second part, data type is numerical because Power BI always connect the data type from the first row of your value. If your first row is numerical, they can set the numerical data type. If the first row is text value, they can set the text value. Now you can see my data is okay. Okay, you can see in the right hand side, all my data is okay. So this is just for basic transformation you have that we have to recap. Okay, first we have to import the data because in Excel file we have just one column data. So we can import in Power BI. Okay, then we have to use our split column by delimiter. So you can choose tab or space. See why I'm using here tab, because sometimes there is a two space in your column. So that is why for a safer side, I'm using tab. But in your Excel file, if only one space is given, then space is also your delimiter you can choose. But why I'm choosing here tab? For a safer side. Okay, for a safer side. That's it. And now you can see at the end of column number 35, it will give me the correct data type. And you can see for every column, show me the green data type. You can see if I click on this, the data type will be valid 100%. There is a no error or no empty column in my data. Clear? Do you have any doubt, guys? Anyone?
No.
Fareed, Manmeet?
No, no, no.
Okay, done. So now,
No.
see, this is just for your data transformation. But I will tell you one thing. When you are preparing any data in the Power BI, you have to make a group. Okay, for every time. Because sometimes you can see if you are working in office, no one can make the group for the data. No one. Because I know they can make the data directly and move to close and apply. That's it. They cannot make a group, but I suggest you always make a group. Always make a group because you cannot show your data to every person in your list or every person in your office. So make group, like click this value, there is a group, and click here new group, and right now I'm selecting here data, working data, or you can take it as working data. And okay, now you can see this is give me the group working data. Then no one knows that you are working in which project, HR, consultancy, taxi, or insurance, or something else, because you don't want to show to everyone that in which project you are working and how many files you have. Okay, so for that reason we can make a folder. Simple. And now after that, basic transformation is done. There is a many more transformation I will show you, but the basic is done. Now I'm click this close and apply. So all this value, all this data will be loaded into Power BI. Now guys, I have one basic question, because when you have an interview in office, they are always interviewer ask you to one question, that why we load the data in Power BI after the transformation. Because when we have already data in the Power BI, then why we have to load the data in Power BI again? Tell me. Suppose this is my question, very simple. If an interviewer asks you, when you import the data in Power BI, then data is already in Power BI. Then why you have to load the data again after the transformation?
because in transformation means we work on all the errors in that file, and if the data if data is in that file, say 10,000 rows are there and we require only 5,000 rows, so so we can load only that much data in Power BI
Right, exactly.
after
So in the same,
removing data.
yeah, right. This is just a good answer. Okay, but in the simple way, you can tell the interviewer that we need to make the working on the selected data, and I have to move that selected data only in my load file. That is because in background we have all the data, but I want to do some selected data working on a selected data so that we can load the data in Power BI, because Power Query is a background of the Power BI. That's it. This is very simple answer. Everyone can understand. Okay. This you have not imagined that this question will be answered, but everybody knows that this question will be answered. Okay. Now you can see the data is loaded in the right hand side in the data tab. You can see in the right hand side the data is loaded. Now I have one more question, that you can see all this data is loaded. So the summation sign is there for every like column. You can see the summation sign. Why this is there? Why? Why the sign is there? Any idea? Why the sign is there for this automatic summation? This is auto sum
It
sign. Why it is there?
is
These are
function.
these are numeric value, and if it is required in future, we can do the summation on this particular column.
Right. So you can see this is first is when I click this column. When I click this column, you can see the summarization is sum, because this column value in the Power BI in the data view is all the values are numerical, and all the numerical value will be shown as auto sum in Power BI, which is called as implied measure. Which is called as implied measure. You can see now if I just click this value and make it to this, and now if I move some one chart, now you can see this is 54K, because Power BI make you implied. Okay, Power BI knows that you have to sum of the all the column, but we don't want to sum. This is just the age, and we don't want to sum of the person of age. So if we you want to remove this summation size, go to this, change this and make it to don't summarize. I don't want to sum this value. I don't want to sum this value. And now you can see the sign is changed, but the value is not changed, because Power BI implied. Power BI changed the sign, but the implied, this is implied measure. Okay, Power BI automatically give you implied measure. They can use sum, divide, or something else. You can see if I go to here and you want to make an average of employees is 36.92, which is sum of total age divided by total number of employee, which is belongs to 36.92. This is the average of per employees. Okay, but I don't want this value. So you, if you want to remove this summation size, so you can click this value, make it to don't summarize. And why I am going to show you why? Because when you have a chart, when you have a like map chart or something else, in the map chart you have a column of uh, there is a some numerical. Okay, like destination part numerical. So they always give the sign in sum. They always give the sign in sum, but I don't want the value in the map chart. So for that reason, we can always take this sum don't summarize sign and make your working. But if summarize sign is there, then it's okay, no need to change. But for that column you are working, change to that data type also. Now when all the data is working, now you can see all my data is there in the data view. There is a age column, there is a attrition, there is a business travel. All the columns are split into 35 column. Now we are used to some other part, which is in the report view. We have to make our report design. Okay, how to make a design of your report? Do you know how to make this design? If I show you in this PDF, this is design. Okay, this is all the design. I know you can work in Power BI, right? you have a knowledge of DAX, you have a knowledge of Power BI, you have knowledge of visualization, Power Query, or modeling, all the knowledge you have, but you don't have knowledge of design, then you cannot make your report a very good picture view. So for that, first we have to make a design of your Power BI report, and then we can work some more measures or something else. Okay, now you can see there is a three view. One is report, data, or model. Model view is always be used when you have two or more table. But right now in this example, we have only one table. I will add one more table, maybe by tomorrow or maybe day after tomorrow, because I have more data. Okay, so right now I don't need another table in my data. So this is my final data is working. So modeling is used to make a relationship between two connection of the multiple tables. You already know the model of table. Okay. Now if I go to report view, now you can see this is my Power BI view. This is view picture. For this, you have to make your uh, design. Guys, before that load, after the loading, you can go to this file and also save this file, because every time you have to save the file, because if something is happening, your file will not save and your data will be lost, then you have to again working in your Power BI. So first it is better to save your file, like, and guys, remember one thing, tomorrow class will be done only when you submit this project to me. Okay, like today, how much task I have done, how much tasks I will do, you have to submit your project by tomorrow evening, then only I can take the class. Because see, every time when you not prepare this kind of things, you have to forget it. Otherwise, you know, because see, there's a just 2 or 3 days class, not more than that. So you can work on let's just 1 hour. Okay, so now I am going into another, which is I have to make a design. Now go to insert, there is an option here, shapes. And now suppose if I select there is a many shapes, suppose if I select this rectangle, now you can see this is my shapes available. Now in this shapes, suppose if I click this, okay, and make it to little as per requirement, like this, because we have to make a navigation of this shapes. Okay, now there is a format option here. In this we have a shape format or something. Suppose right now I need to change the color, so just select it here, color, and now you can change the color, which is for fill. This is by fill color. Suppose I take it as white border. See, right now there is a border of blue highlighted. Now you can see there is a color of blue highlighted. Okay, but I want to remove that color. So for that also, click this first, move to color, and now you can change border. Suppose I want white. That's it. And there is a shadow. You can see there is a shadow which is off. Now I want to on this shadow, and now you can see this is exactly same as PDF. Now you can see in the PDF the same as PDF, because we have just a white design, there is a some border, and there is a some shadow, so that it will give you the different picture. Guys, do one thing, we have timing issue, like, so that you can join again the session with the same link. Okay, okay guys, you can join again with the session.